Hey, what is up, everybody? This is your boy AJTRIP, and welcome to the final day of my week-long top 10 list. Now, you can go back on my YouTube channel. You can go back wherever you're listening and catch up on the other four mini podcasts that I've done. I've done the top 10 quarterbacks, the top 10 running backs, the top 10 receiving corps. Yesterday I did the top 10 defenses, and today I'm going to talk about the top 10 teams, just flat out the top 10 teams in the National Football League in the 2024 season. This is amazing. We're going to give you guys again some programming notes just so that you know next Wednesday will be week one of there will be episode one of the new season as I recap the week one week in college football, and I possibly may give some college football playoffs, and some playoff predictions. We'll have to wait and see on that. So that will be episode one. Episode two, although I won't call it episode one, episode two. It'll be, whatever it is. Episode 155? Yeah, something like episode 156, 157. Whatever. And next Thursday, I will give my season preview of the National Football League next Thursday, as we start the new season later on that evening with the Chiefs and Ravens on NBC. And then don't forget, next Friday as well, you've got the Packers and Eagles on Peacock from Brazil. That should be great as well. So that's not even fret about stuff like that. Let's go ahead. Let's just jump right into the action. These are my top 10 teams in the National Football League. Number 10, I have the Dallas Cowboys. They have great talent. The defense is in there. The offense is great. You just had CeeDee Lamb get a contract extension. I think we've got a lot of other things that could be happening as well. If they just signed Dalvin Cook as well to go into the backfield. I was surprised that he hadn't been signed. Dalvin Cook was a really good back, and for some reason Minnesota wanted to get rid of Dalvin Cook. I have no idea why. Just because he was making money. The things about running backs it's a whole other topic for a whole other podcast episode. Maybe that's for the off season part of my podcast and things. But yeah, it is. But they've got Dalvin Cook now, and I think they should be in the mix. I know a lot of people are saying that they may even miss the playoffs, and maybe they might. But I'm not predicting that. I think the Dallas Cowboys, at least I don't think I'm predicting that. I think the Dallas Cowboys will be a good enough team this year, a good enough team that makes the playoffs for the NFC. So, again, all this happens if stuff stays healthy. So I think I have the Cowboys as my number 10 team in the league. My number 9 team are the Baltimore Ravens. Yes, I'm not a fan of Lamar Jackson as a quarterback. But as an athlete, you gotta give him credit. He is good, and I think he can run around, make plays. They not have Derrick Henry. He'll run around, make plays. He'll do just enough in the passing game to, get them to the point to where their defense can stop teams enough, and they'll score enough points to win games, and they'll be in, the conversation, and at the end of the year for probably maybe even the division winner of the AFC North, and of course in a spot for a playoff spot. So I think they will definitely have an opportunity to be in there, but again, I think it won't be because Lamar Jackson is great, and you better not win another damn MVP. He better not win another damn MVP. Last year it was absolutely sickening to see him win an MVP. Absolutely sickening, because he didn't deserve it. Let's face it, y'all. I think I may have said this in the quarterback podcast. Stop trying to make Lamar Jackson happy. Stop. He's not. And stop trying to make Justin Fields happen as well while you're where we at it. So the Ravens are 9. 8 are the Browns. I think the Browns are going to be better. I think there's a good chance Deshaun Watson can maybe get back to that 2020 or 2021 season where he was like the leading league in passer, and while he played great, his team didn't. And his team, and I remember even J.J. Watt was going out the field, telling him, we're wasting your years. So I'm sorry, we're wasting your years because he played excellently. Now he had to stop. They had trouble, off-field trouble with the stuff, obviously with the massage accusations and everything like that. And then he went to Cleveland and he had some trouble with Cleveland getting back there. And then last year, he looked like he's starting to play well and he's starting to come out of the slump that he had, but he got injured. So now we have to see it this year. But if he can do, but last year the Browns played, they went to the playoffs. They went to the playoffs when with Joe Flacco. So, and Joe Flacco, I wouldn't say he played great, but he played well enough for them to make the playoffs. So that's all Deshaun Jackson has to do this year. Can he play as well as Joe Flacco played for the Browns to make the playoffs? And I think that he can. And I have them above the Ravens because I think they will probably, they'll probably beat the Ravens, this year. So I think that's why I have them above them. And that's also the reason why I have the Bengals above the Browns at 7. I think they'll beat all of them. All of the teams in their division. I think if Joe Burrow's still healthy, and I think you have to wonder about their running game. Joe Mixon's now gone. Can they really have a running game with Zach Moss? I don't think so. Now they do have Chase Brown, the running back that was at Illinois a couple years ago. They do have him. I think by the end of the season, you can probably see Chase Brown be the guy for him because he's more like Joe Mixon than Zach Moss is. Zach Moss is Zach Moss. So, but I think Chase Brown could be something special. And then of course we know that Tyler Boyd, went to Tennessee. So this is now T. Higgins and Jamar Chase there. But I still think they are going to be prolific offensively and they'll be good enough defensively to win the games they need to win. And I have, and that's why I have the Bengals above the Browns and the Ravens. I think they are going to win that division. So the Bengals are at 7. I have the Eagles at 6. I think that getting Jahan Dotson was a great pickup. Adds more weapons to Jalen Hurts. I think Kellen Moore, the new offensive coordinator in Philly, could be a big help as well. I think he will allow Jalen Hurts to make more plays from the pocket than you will have him making plays with his legs, and I think they have Saquon Barkley for that. So I think if they hand the ball off to Saquon Barkley, if they distribute the ball correctly, to their many weapons, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Jahan Dotson, the tight end, Dallas Goedert, I think the Eagles are, destined to, to be back on the top of the NFC East. I don't think they're going to have a slip. Now, are they going to be as good as they was when they went to the Super Bowl? Probably not. But I think they'll still be good enough to win the Super Bowl. And I don't think you're going to see them slip out of the playoffs, or you're going to see them, start 10-1 and then drop down. I think this is a good team that I think will stay consistent. And then I'm sure they'll lose some games. They may even lose to Dallas. But I think this is a team that's going to be up there, in the top spots, or one of the top spots in the NFC. So I have the Eagles at 6. The Packers are at 5. And as a Bears fan, this hurts to say this, but I hope that this is the last year I'll get to say this. I think the Packers are actually kind of underrated. I think people are still, they are picking them to win the division, but I don't think a lot of teams are picking them to be the team that comes out of the NFC. I think many people, myself included, see the NFC being the 49ers or the Detroit Lions. But let's not forget, in that game against the 49ers, Green Bay had a lead. The 49ers had to come back, just like they had to come back against the Lions. So, sometimes, experience is the key, but sometimes maybe you don't need the experience. The only thing you need is just, know how good you are. And I don't think, even Jordan Love takes a step back, I don't think it's going to be a step back to where we say, oh, he's trash, and last year was a fluke. No, we're just going to say, it's probably a normal thing. It's the normal sophomore slump, that he may have went through this year with the, even though it's like his 5th year, it's a 5th year season. He's a 5th year senior with a sophomore slump. But it's I don't think it's gonna be anything that he'll have anything to do. So I am totally expecting Jordan Love, and he's got a bunch of talent around him. The receivers are good. If I do correctly, I do not have the Packers as one of my top 10 receiving corps, but they do have some good receivers there. And as I look at, I probably should have. They might have should have been 10 before the Falcons. Because if you look at them, they've got Romeo Dobbs, and they have Christian Watson, and they have Jalen Reed, and they have Bo Melton, and they have a lot of guys who can catch the ball, who got speed, who can run around. And I know there's a thing about saying, would you rather have a collection of receivers like they have, or would you like to have the number one guy like Jordan, Justin Jefferson? Well, who says that one of these guys won't come out to be the number one guy? If they stay healthy, Christian Watson has had some injury problems, so has Romeo Dobbs from time to time. But if they stay pretty much healthy, one of those guys could step out to end up being their number one receiver. So, yeah, they got a great receiving corps there up in Green Bay, and they've signed Josh Jacobs to replace Aaron Jones, which is ridiculous. I find it ridiculous as well. You had a good enough, not good enough. You had a great enough running back with Aaron Jones. You did not need to try to upgrade. I actually think you've gotten worse, than you did like that. They got AJ Dillon. AJ Dillon was hurt. So he can be out for the season. So they're not gonna do that sharing time stuff, with him anyway. So that I think if it is Josh Jacobs' show, making him show, give him the ball. They shouldn't be that AJ Dillon should be let AJ Dillon go. But I think the Packers are going to be up there this year, and I think they brought in a new defensive guy. I think they got he was the former Boston College head coach. He worked there to become the defensive coordinator for the Packers. I don't know if I can't remember what exactly they're doing. They're doing a 4-3 or 3-4 there or whatever. But whatever it is, it's going to be interesting, just nonetheless. So the Packers are my number 5 team. My number 4 team is the Texans, and the same thing that goes with what I said about Jordan Love goes here to C.J. Stroud. He may have a little bit of a sophomore slump, but it's not going to be something where it says, well, was it a one-year wonder? I think he's still going to make the plays, and do the things that says that, oh, well, yes, he's a fantastic quarterback. He is the franchise quarterback of the Houston Texans. But, he went, 23-5 as a touchdown interception ratio. So maybe he'll go, 28 and 28-16 this year. Maybe he'll throw some more interceptions, have a Dak Prescott type year, but he's still going to be there. He's still going to be, the reason why they win the majority of their games. And now he's got Stephon Diggs there as his number one guy. Nico Collins is still there. Tank Dell off the broken leg is back. To have him back there as well. Dalton Schultz, a great tight end. Joe Mixon from Cincinnati in the backfield to run the ball for him. The Texans have it all, and their defense is incredible. The pass rush can hunt. They have everything they have. The only question is that will they be able to beat a couple of other teams in the in the AFC, and we'll have to wait and see on that. Let's let the season play off first, but I think the Texans are going to be wonderful. I have them as my number 4 team. The Detroit Lions are my number 3 team. I really love what the Detroit Lions has done, and these are not. I love Dan Campbell as a coach. I think he gets his team motivated. I think he gets his team ready to play, and he's always going to be who he is, and I love that. If he's going to be the type of guy who's going to go for it on 4th down and go for 2-point conversions and all those other things, that's totally fine. Do that. Be that guy. And as long as you stay like that for the most of the time, I would say please don't be that type of dude that, if you're down, what is it? If you're down 14, if you're down 14, the fucking numbnuts and the analytics will tell you now that you score a touchdown instead of kicking the extra point to get you down by 7. You're supposed to go for 2. So that if you make it, you know that you can get. If you score a touchdown, you'll go up 1. But if you don't make it, you still can have the thing to go for 2 next time. I'm not sorry. For me, I would rather you go ahead, kick the extra point, go down by 7, and then try to go for 2 for the win. If you can come back down and score another touchdown. I don't know. So I think that's I think you go that way. So as long as he doesn't go into stupidity, I am up with Dan Campbell. And listen, Jared Goff is maybe the most underrated quarterback in this league. The talent around Jared is amazingly tremendous offensive line. Going to keep him clean so that he can sit there and distribute the ball to Amon-Ra St. Brown, to Sam Laporta, to Jamison Williams, to Jahmyr Gibbs, to David Montgomery. I think it's going to be great. Listen, Detroit almost had 2,000-yard rushers last year with Montgomery and Gibbs. That should not happen this year. The 1,000-yard rusher should actually be a 1,500-yard rusher in Jahmyr Gibbs, and David Montgomery should be a 200-yard rusher. Jahmyr Gibbs needs the majority of the playing time, the majority of the touches. Like I said, the running backs, the top running back thing. Fuck David Montgomery. Fuck him. You've got Jahmyr Gibbs there. You're giving the ball to David Montgomery. How stupid are you? So I do have some criticism of the Detroit Lions, but I just love who they are as a team. I think they've upgraded their defensive as well with some free agent signings and some draft picks. I think they drafted one of the cornerbacks, I believe, this year in the draft. So I think they're going to step up their game on defense as well, because offensively they can put up the points. And sometimes they need the defense to stop. Aiden Hutchinson should be a much better pass rusher. I think the guy who was a couple years ago when he was a rookie, James Houston, I think he didn't do much last year. I think he may have been injured or something like that. Maybe he might come back and show that he could be the guy on the other side of Aiden Hutchinson. They'll love that. And I think they're gonna fight for an opportunity to be the NFC, the team in the NFC heading to the Super Bowl. But they're gonna have to beat my number 2 team, the San Francisco 49ers. I'm just going to let you guys know. We might be in a situation We might be where where we are going to be seeing a Super Bowls that consists of the Chiefs and the Niners for the next few years. Just like we had the 4 year span in basketball where it was the Warriors and the Cavaliers. I think we might see that just because the 49ers are so good. Kyle Shanahan is a well-coached team. He's got great, and the talent there is great. Mark Purdy I have him as a top 3 quarterback. Christian McCaffrey's the best running back in the league. The receiving core with Ayuk is something special. Ayuk is still good. The offensive line, with Trent Williams is great. Without Trent Williams, it's iffy. He sets that line because he can just take on one guy. You don't have to double team, with the left tackle. He can take on the best pass rusher. And talking about deep best pass rusher, they may have the best pass rusher in the game in Nick Bosa, and he anchors a defense that has superstars up and down the roster. Dre Greenlaw, Fred Warner, Charvarius Ward, and many others as well. This is a team that is that is just, I think they've got great talent, and then you put in the coaching of Kyle Shanahan. They are going to. One time when Charlie Weiss was when he was announced as the Notre Dame Fighting Irish coach, one of the things he talked about was that with him, they were going to have a schematic advantage in every game. And I think that's what you have for 49ers. With Kyle Shanahan, you have a schematic advantage in every game. And I think that's something that you just can't look past. So the 49ers are my number 2 team in the National Football League. And of course, I just talked about who the team that they would maybe go against, and that's the number 1 team, the Chiefs. And listen, when you have Patrick Mahomes, who's a fantastic quarterback, and you have Andy Reid, fantastic mind, and on the offensive side of the ball, you have Travis Kelce. You've upgraded the receivers from last year with Marquise Hollywood Brown, and you've got Xavier Worthy. Justin Watson, I think, is a fine third receiver as well. They cut Kadarius Toney, so you don't have to worry about him lining up off sides. So we got that, and the one thing about the Chiefs the last couple of years, they don't seem to have the greatest offensive line, but they get an offensive line that can work well together and work well enough for Patrick Mahomes to do his work, and that's all you need. Their defense is tremendous, one of the top defenses in the league, led by Chris Jones at the D tackle position. He is going to have their defense up and running, and and looking for a body to hit each and every Sunday. It's going to be fun to watch, and I just think that with all of that stuff that they have, it is going to take an act of God to not have the Chiefs in the Super Bowl this year. And whether that act of God, and nobody wishing for him, and nobody's wishing for this, and at least I hope nobody is wishing for it. No, I'm not. But if that act of God is a unfortunate injury to Patrick Mahomes, or injuries to that offensive line that makes the offensive line worse, or what I would be hoping for is the act of God to be Josh Allen balling the fuck out this year. Because I do believe, I don't have the Bills as one of my top 10 teams, but I do believe the Bills will win the AFC East, because I think Josh Allen is the best quarterback, and I do think that he will be better, that he'll cut the turnovers down, and he will be better because they'll run the ball more with James Cook, and without him having to try to force the ball into Stephon Diggs, he can just distribute the ball like a quarterback should be able to. He might even play better than we've ever seen. And so I would hope that Josh Allen would be that act of God that takes the Chiefs out of the playoffs, but we have to wait and see. But yeah, the Chiefs are my number 1 team in the National Football League. So again, let's Yeah, look at this, and let's just take this out. You got number 10, the Cowboys, number 9, the Ravens, number 8, the Browns, number 7, the Bengals, number 6, the Eagles, number 5, the Packers, 4 Texans, 3 Lions, 2 49ers, and 1 the Kansas City Chiefs. Yes. All right, guys. So that ends my week of top 10 lists. You know, basically my little previews here, my mini previews of what's gonna what I feel is going looking ahead to the NFL 2024-2025 season. Again, a reminder: September 4th will be the I guess you can say season premiere of my of the game according to me, where we will recap what went down in week 1 of the college football season. Look ahead to week 2. And we actually should look ahead to the week 1 matchups in the NFL season. So we should do that. Again, there might be a playoff preview. As we do the college stuff, we'll have to wait and see about that. But just a little taste. This is a little tease for you. And again, Thursday as well, be on the lookout there for my season preview of the NFL season. As we'll look through, and I will give you the playoff matchups and everything like that. I will give you like the winners of the awards, and I will do a lot of all that stuff. So, and usually what I've done in the past is that I've done like a simulcast, you know. But since I found a way now to upload my podcast to YouTube, I don't want to do like have a double episode. So I don't want to do that. Whew. Although maybe I could. I wonder if I could, if I would do the video version of my podcast, because I do the audio version, upload to YouTube. If I did the reverse, I did the video version, could it possibly upload to my audio podcast? Probably not. I don't think it works like that. But no matter where it goes, whether you're watching it on YouTube, youtube.com / @AJTRIP or AJTRIP20, one of the two. You know, the link is in the description box down below for wherever you're listening, I'm sure. Or if you want to do it right here on wherever you're listening to this podcast, it's wherever it is, it's going to be there next Thursday. So make sure you're there for that. If you like what you see or hear or whatever, make sure you go to patron.com / AJTRIP to become a patron. Once I hit a certain amount of patrons, you will be able to determine what you see on my YouTube channel, what video games I play on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv / AJTRIP20. I have to have the video game, by the way, for whatever you want me to play, and or what you want to hear on my other podcasts. In the new year, I am probably going to do 2 new episodes of my old podcast right now, The Word According to Me. 2 episodes like that. 1 episode about the MCU, 1 episode about the upcoming election. And then afterwards at that, there'll be no more podcast versions of The Word According to Me. However, on my YouTube channel, The Word According to Me will still be there, and it will still, be there for things that I may want to talk about. For things I may visit that I want to do, TV reviews, things like that. I may want to review one of the upcoming Disney Plus series of the Marvel's Agatha series. I may want to do that. So those things will be there on YouTube and the video version of The Word According to Me. But yeah, my new podcast, the AJTRIP Show, will start in the new year. And goddamn it, I had a topic. I had a topic. I meant to write it down, but I had to do so much other stuff that I forgot to write it down and things like that. So I'm gonna try to remember. What was it? Maybe I'll think about it. I'm gonna try to remember. But whatever it is, like I was talking about, that's if you sign up to patreon.com/AJTRIP to become one of my patrons. If you don't want to do that and you still want to support me financially, there's the Spotify version to do it, where you can sign up there. You can go be a 99-cent tier, a $4.99 tier, and a $9.99 tier. Support me that way. But I know we're still living in a time where times are tough and inflation and everything like that. You may not have the money, but there are other ways to support me. To subscribe to this podcast, give it a high rating. Make comments. Right now, I said if you're listening to this on Spotify, they now allow you to leave comments. Leave a comment. I think that helps. If you're watching or listening to this on YouTube, like the video and share the video. Subscribe to my channel. And apparently, if when you share and you copy the link, apparently that helps with the engagement too. You don't even have to share it. You don't have to take the link or post it anywhere. I would love for you to do so, but you don't even have to. Apparently, if you just copy the link, that helps as well. So, yeah, a lot of ways to support me. If you like what you've heard today or like what you heard this prior week, I appreciate any support you are giving me. It is an honor to do this. Alright guys, thank you guys so much for listening and watching. This is your boy AJTRIP signing off. As always, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there. And I am out.